An out-of-control trolley is hurtling down the tracks towards four men stuck. You are aboard the train and notice the conductor is incapacitated. You see that there is a lever that will switch tracks before the trolley would hit the four men. If you pull the lever, you would save the four men. However, you notice a kid stuck on the tracks on the new path. Pulling that lever would mean the trolley would strike the child. What would you do?
The question, honestly, knowing myself well enough, my first reaction would probably be just the gut reaction would be to hit the lever. I don't think I have my wits enough about me to even hit the lever, but if I did, I think I would, my reaction would be in response to the immediate event in front of me to try and avoid that particular disaster. So I think my gut reaction would be to pull the lever. Given that the question actually gives you some time to think about things, I think I would probably still pull the lever. It's a little bit more of a challenge because it's a child on the other tracks, but I view all lives as being valuable. And in that situation, I think my decision would be based off of saving 4 lives versus 1. So I think I would pull the lever to divert the train off of the tracks to not hit the 4 men.
I would pull the lever to hit the young child and save the 4 men because during the situation, I would probably see 4 men as being greater than 1 child, even though that child has not lived their life to the fullest. During those quick seconds, I would not consider that child living a grateful life, but I would consider the 4 men only because it's 4 to 1. I think in that situation, I would just see 4 people. I would rather say 4 people and not even think about the child's life.
I personally probably would save the child and kill that's probably so bad. And I would kill the 4 men, hoping that they were old enough where they at least had a decent enough life. Because the kid is so young and he hasn't even had a real life yet. That would be my opinion.
I would say probably my personal code of ethics. Since it's not a legal question, it's not really an issue of legality. It's not something that I would run into in my profession. So in that instance, it would have to be my own personal code that I look at number of lives in sort of a very logical way, which is very scientific. So I guess in that way it is sort of a scientific code of ethics, that it's just very logical on numbers based.
I would base it on my personal code of ethics to save the 4 men compared to the 1 child, because as I would be in those few seconds making that decision, I would see the 4 men as a greater number than the 1 child, and personally, I believe in the greater for the good, or for the many, and seeing the many compared to the 1, I personally would just pull the lever and sacrifice the child compared to the men.
I base it off of my personal code of ethics, I guess. And if I probably knew more information about what was the other one? The professional code of ethics, then I might be able to make a better decision, but that's my personal opinion is what I would do.
My field is genetics, So I think of all of the science fields, genetics probably is the one most ripe with ethical dilemmas. So we run into that all the time. There are all sorts of genetic manipulation decisions that are made with regard to gene therapy. And we actually spend time in my classes talking about this. We talk about it in my genetics lecture. We also talk about it in my human genetics class. That it's really ripe with ethical issues. So questions of whether or not a particular gene therapy should be done, whether genetic testing is appropriate, whether it's appropriate to test newborns for genetic disorders. If you find out you have a genetic disorder that is inherited, do you have an obligation to tell a sibling that you tested positively for it? What if they don't want to know? So I think in my field especially, it's ripe with issues of ethical questions.
An ethical dilemma that I would face in my field would be bribes from clients or other business partners to do things not according to the law or kind of in a gray area.
I'm going to do school counseling eventually, and a issue that I might come across is probably keeping confidentiality. If there's like a really serious issue that a minor is dealing with, knowing like what's that line to like keep the secret or tell the parent, or obviously if the child or is in danger or going to put other people in danger, then you can tell. But my issue would be finding that line.